morning, New Orleans, and welcome to the Good Morning Show right here on WBOK 12:30 a.m. It is a wet and dreary day, and it's probably going to get more wet later today as the day proceeds, and more wet tomorrow, and a bit on Friday morning. So for those of you who have these things, pull out your galoshes, pull out your raincoat, definitely pull out a rain brother or two, unless you're like me, you need two or three in the car because you forget one and leave it, and then you're drenched. And so carry an umbrella with you at least most of the time, if not always. I am blessed to make it through Monday and Tuesday and get to today, hump day. Yes, it is the middle of the week, and I am blessed that the Lord woke me up, planted my feet on the floor, and got me on over to our Black Talk radio station, WBOK. It's 7:03 a.m., and we've got quite a show lined up for you. And because the weather is such a big thing, I want to give you a little bit more information about that. And I think we got something that we can share from Brother Damon Singleton at NOLA.com.
And those mostly cloudy, if not overcast skies are back with us once again today. Rain chances remain high, and that's going to be the case for the next couple of days as well. Here's the reason why. This is the satellite picture of all that tropical moisture that's making its way along the Texas Gulf Coast and parts of the northwestern Gulf of Mexico as well. Here's a look at the cone, indicating that this thing is headed straight towards southwest Louisiana. So a lot of rainfall is in the forecast for us over the next few days as this thing continues to head in our direction. So we're under a marginal risk of severe weather. That's all of us down here in southern Louisiana.
All right, so there you have it. Better synopsis from Damon than from me. So there you have it. Plan accordingly. If you just look outside and think that's going to be the way it is, it's probably not. So you need to look up the news, wherever you want to look up the news to get the weather. Get your Weather Channel report or whichever local station. Look it up online and plan accordingly. Look, it's 7:04 a.m. and I just want to remind you that we need all of you all to be safe drivers. But if you're going out there, there's some crazy drivers, and some people can't handle the weather and think that it's a bright sunny day and they drive like that. Forget to engage with wet streets and highways. So don't be one of them. Be careful and avoid the crazy drivers. Be a defensive driver as you're out there. Watch out for our babies and kiddos. Look, we got a special guest right off the bat, right here at WBOK, which is on 12:30 a.m. We're also streaming on YouTube, Instagram, and on Facebook. So go ahead and tell your friends. Make sure you can see as well as hear. If you're in motion and you can just hear, I am happy to tell you that we have none other than Vera Warren Williams. Mama Vera is in the house. And she's been here a number of times. So y'all know her. Y'all know Mama Vera. And if you haven't caught her here at WBOK, you caught her over at Community Book Center over on Bayou Road, community gathering spot, place to relax, place to get some education and some information, for some book talk and for books and much more with Mama Vera and Mama Jennifer. But we got big news because Mama Vera has been selected as the Essence Festival of Culture book partner. That's great news. Welcome, Mama Vera.
Good morning and thank you. And before I get started, I'd like to put my hallelujah praise in.
Uh-huh.
Today, I opened 2 gifts. They were my eyes. So I'm grateful to be here, that God has brought us this far, and we ask continued blessings as we move on this journey.
Oh, great. Well, I know a lot of people are going to be very happy, proud as they hear this news because it's just coming out. I wrote a column about it. You can see it in the Times Picayune today or find it online at NOLA.com. But we're not going to spend too much time on that. We want to spend time with Mama Vera and talk about this wonderful move. So, you actually were at the first Essence Festival, correct?
That's correct. I was a part of the original production team when Essence came in to produce the celebration of their 25th anniversary, when the iconic Douglas Red produced the poster and logo for the festival that year. And working with the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival, producing Congo Square, the African marketplace, a team there were brought in, myself, Gina Montana, Khalid Hafiz, and a whole bunch of other people who were a part of that festival team. And we were assigned the task of doing the night concerts, marketplace. At that point, everything was at the Superdome. And in a production meeting, I was sitting there and I was listening to them talk about the artists meet and greet and all of the people who would come and sign their records and stuff like that. And I looked over the schedule and I said, are you all going to have an author meet and greet? And they looked at me like, we came here to do a music festival. We not talking about authors. I'm like, but you have best-selling authors as a part of the empowerment seminars. I'm sure their fans want the opportunity to meet and greet them and get their books autographed. And they said, okay, do it. And so that was the charge. And from that point on, in just a little time, we produced the book part of the Essence Festival. And at that time, we just called it the books.
Right.
And then it was such a success, they decided to split it and put the empowerment seminars in the convention center and the concerts at night. So we were working to produce, at that time it was called the Book Emporium. And we scheduled all of the authors from the empowerment seminars, in addition to making sure that their books and everything were sold and on site. And what we also noticed was that in addition to the featured authors on the seminar stage, there were a lot of A-list and best-selling authors who attended the Party with the Purpose at the convention center. And so we wanted to be able to create opportunities also for them to meet and greet their audiences. So we hosted events with Iyanla Vanzant, Eric Jerome Dickey, Michael Dyson, just a whole host of people, and it was a big success. And many people came from all over the country, and they were just amazed to see the large selection of books and other items that we curated for the Book Emporium.
So from that first year, it became the festival became bigger, and the book
It
part
did.
became bigger,
It
and
did.
you stuck with that and moved away from the overall team and focused on books more.
Absolutely.
And stayed with that through until 2012, thereabout.
Yes. A lot happened between 1995 and 2012 when I got married. I had a child, Katrina, and that was a pivotal point for the city and the festival when we had to move the festival to Houston.
Yeah.
So our team packed up and moved to Houston and did the festival, but we were so grateful that we were able to come back and do it in the at home.
So how different was it in, I'll say not 95, but like 96, 97, 98 versus 2010, 11?
I think what was different was that we just had we just had to make it up. You know, we had an area, a large area. I think at one time it may have been 100 by 80.
Hmm.
And we had tables, folding tables that we covered. We had police barricades, which defined the area,
Hmm.
and it was just an open space. And as it began to grow, we began to, you know, the footprint shrunk a little, but we were able to just get a rhythm and a team together that were able to just present to the world the true history of our people and our culture, and they could see it in books, and they had an opportunity to meet and take photographs with their favorite authors. So it grew from there, and then as we moved to the latter years, um, it just got a little different. There was a lot of well, I will start here. When we started,
Hmm.
we were the only vendor selling books at Essence. Period. There were no corporate
Hmm.
sponsors. There were none of that.
Right.
But as the festival grew and the interest, corporations saw the benefit of, you know, having access to that audience.
Hmm.
So they began to add other books and other celebrities to their lineup. But we continued to persevere and do what we did, and we did it to our best.
Okay. So from 2012 on, you weren't a official book partner, and now you're returning to the festival. Um, Things have changed since 2012. What's going to be different for you as official book partner at this year's Essence Festival of Culture?
Yeah, well, in in 2012, when they decided to go in a different direction, we did what we do.
Mm-hmm.
When all doors close, we open the ceiling
Mm-hmm.
or dig a hole. You know, there's
Mm-hmm.
always a way to be resourceful. And I'd like to just add, in that interim, we took what we did there and brought it home
Mm-hmm.
to historic Bayou Road. And we created the Home Fest, which today is a popular local festival that draws and celebrates New Orleans culture, New Orleans talent, and the just invites locals as well as visitors to come and see us. So after doing Home Fest for all of this time, we were good with it. You know what I'm saying? And then we got the call or an invitation to be a partner with um, Essence to produce the book festival. And I think what's different now is that the book festival is almost a festival within itself,
Yeah.
and it hosts all of the activations primarily or in that particular area, defined area. As before, authors were coming from the main stage and other places. So we're looking for an opportunity to be back. It's a great opportunity for economic development that flows from Essence to flow back into the local economy and to benefit locals here. I think that's the key and important element to highlight. We're also looking forward to having the opportunity and that we'll be elevated to a point where folks will want to seek out more of local culture, local flavor, and especially come over and support the businesses on Bayou Road, which is the highest concentration of Black-owned businesses in the city of New Orleans. And what's more important is that we own the property, so we're stakeholders, and we're in it to win it.
All right. So I guess you'll have to ramp up with a lot more help. You rely on Mama Jennifer and some other folks over on Bayou Road, and you've been doing it, so you got it down, uh, like science, so to speak. And but this is a pretty big deal. So
Yes, it
yeah.
is. It is. And we just recalibrating
Hmm.
our cylinders. And I think that over the years, we have heard just the outpouring of the community in wanting us, one, to return, trying to understand why, we weren't there. They remembered and appreciated all that we did. So people have been coming, just say, let us know what we can do. We got you. So we have organizing a team, a staff, as well as a lot of volunteers to help us through this process. And as I said before, it's been 14 years. A lot has changed, and we're on a tight schedule, a
Yeah.
tight time frame. We're almost less than 3 weeks away. That's how I look at it. I say 2 weeks away,
Right.
and we have to be able to pull this off. So as information becomes available, we'll have more um, tools to put into effect.
Well, Mama Vera, people are going to be very happy for you, happy for Community Book Center, and happy for New Orleanians that
That's
this
what.
is
That's part.
happening.
That part right there.
They're going to be very excited to see this happen, and some of them are going to say, "What can I do to help?" So, if somebody wants to be out there, of course, you got to make decisions about who's going to be volunteers and that kind of thing, because you just can't have random people.
Exactly.
You can't just have random people saying they're going to come and they don't
Right.
come, or they walk away or something like that. But if somebody wants to legitimately help, how can they contact you or be in touch with the center?
Well, I think what we're doing is, like I said, we're trying to shore up our team, our staff, and we also are organizing a cadre of volunteers, like people who are hands on, who know what they're doing. I love the support, the outpouring. We Ubuntu.
Mm-hmm.
I am because we are,
Right.
and we are because God is, and so we come together. That's how we do here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what's really, really important for people who want to really support us, their prayers, to be able to share the word, spread the word that we're in back in business,
Mm-hmm.
and that they post on social media. And I would really, really appreciate if everyone would go to Community Book Center's Instagram and Facebook and post photographs and memories from previous years,
Oh, that's good.
so that we could see the growth and
Yes.
the development.
Okay.
We lost a lot,
Okay.
during Katrina. So that's the best way they can help, and come by and shop
Yeah.
and support us.
Yeah, and I know on Sunday when you told the group gathered for the cookbook author talk, there was great cheer and happy faces, and you said something like, "If you haven't been coming for whatever reason, come on back."
That's right. For whatever reason,
Yeah.
because we're back.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to have Dr. David Levine on with us. Thank you so much, Mama Vera. Once again, congratulations. This is a big deal. I don't know if Essence knows what they just did, but this is a big deal. And a lot of the people I've been talking to, they can't believe it, and they're so happy.
Yeah.
So, all right. We're going to go to break. When we come back, Dr. David Levine. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. If you want to call on topic, that is the number. Otherwise, you can be in touch after that topic ends. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. Get ready now. That is the message from parish leaders as the threat of severe weather moves into our area. We are expecting heavy rain that could dump inches of water across portions of our area later today. And as we continue monitoring the flash flooding threat in New Orleans, city leaders are outlining their plans for severe weather. Today, we will get details on the city's emergency preparedness plan as storms are expected to intensify later today and into Thursday. Mayor Helena Moreno, NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick, and other public safety officials will be there. It is happening at 2 p.m. at City Hall. And a state of emergency is in effect in Picayune. This after the city saw massive flooding on Tuesday, especially downtown. Crews pulled out multiple stalled vehicles. The high school there on Laurel Street is open as a shelter, and they are also offering sandbags there. And that is a look for you at today's headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day, everyone, and please.
Hey, this is D. Riley from the 90s Hits R&B Jams. Make sure you listen to WBOK 1230 AM every Saturday night from 7 until 9 p.m. I'll be giving you the best R&B jams from the 90s. That's right, all your favorites and more. With me, D. Riley, your host of the 90s Hits, right here on WBOK 1230 AM, or listen online at WBOK1230.com. WBOK, the station you listen to longer.
This is Andronika Morris, host of Put Housing First. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock, where we will discuss how housing affects every aspect of our lives and what's necessary, what's needed to guarantee housing for all. Join us every Tuesday at 12 o'clock as we dig down deep onto the issues that affect all of us.
The Ron Kelly Show. Real talk, bold truth. Tune in for your weekly dose of unapologetic conversations that don't dodge the truth or dilute the message. Stay informed on the issues that matter most on The Ron Kelly Show. Every Monday at 8 p.m. on WBOK 1230 AM.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period. So they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
The New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation is the nonprofit organization that owns the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival presented by Shell. With the funds generated from Jazz Fest, the foundation invests in Louisiana companies through economic development, cultural enrichment, and free educational programs. To learn more about what the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Foundation does, please visit www.jazzandheritage.org.
Greetings and salutations. I am Edward B. Coulon Smith, chairman of the board of the New Orleans Regional Black Chamber of Commerce. We'd like to invite you to tune in every Wednesday at 12 noon on WBOK to listen in on Black to Business and be a part of the movement that's going on. Thank you.
We are the rhythm of the streets.
The flavor in every dish.
The story in every song.
We are New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation.
We help artists build the future of New Orleans.
Because when the culture thrives, our people thrive.
Every note, every brushstroke, every dish is a door opening new possibilities for those who carry our traditions forward. And when we open that door, the whole city moves forward. For New Orleans Tourism and Cultural Foundation, culture is our open door.
Good morning, wake up.
The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Been in tune with us since 702-468-1012 or even 25, and if you're just tuning in, you missed a good conversation with Mama Vera from the Community Books Center. She and the Book Center are the official book partner with the Essence Festival of Culture. As I said during that segment, I wrote something about that. It's in today's print paper, and it's online at NOLA.com. Check it out if you want to learn more. And she shared some history with us, and it was great to have her here and have that conversation. We're going to go into conversation with Dr. David Levine now. He is a board-certified pediatrician at Atlantic Medical Group in New Jersey, and he's got about more than 20 years' experience providing care for newborns, adolescents, teenagers, and others. And he's going to talk with us about perinatal mental health disorders. Good morning. Good morning, Dr. Levine. You're on with Will Sutton. How are you?
Good morning, Will. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Did I get all of that right? Board certified pediatrician at Atlantic Medical Group?
Yes, you did.
Okay. All right. So let's start with, what is perinatal mental health disorders? I think people hear mental health a lot these days. They hear prenatal, they hear other things, but what is perinatal mental health disorders?
So it's kind of a catch-all term for any mental health issues that arise around pregnancy. Most people have probably heard it better called postpartum depression, but it encompasses depression, anxiety, psychosis, and more importantly, it can affect both parents. It can affect either the mom or the dad.
Mm-hmm. All right. So is there just a professional preference for calling it postpartum versus perinatal?
Yeah, so a lot of people just associate it more. When you say postpartum, a lot of people just associate it more with the birth mother, but it's called perinatal because it doesn't just involve the mom, and it also doesn't just involve postpartum, meaning right after the baby's born. There are many families and moms and dads who suffer like during the pregnancy and after the pregnancy. That's why it gets more of an all-encompassing term. But it's really just there to alert new families, but especially in my case here with dads, to make them aware that this is a real thing, that these things can happen, and that they are treatable.
So I think that a number of people I know with kids, with multiple kids, together as a couple in whatever relationship, they don't think about the man having any issues. That's a women's thing. That's the thing for the mothers. I mean, it's not affecting me. How do you associate this with men, with fathers?
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of people don't think about the dads. And 1 in 10 dads can suffer from a perinatal mental health disorder like postpartum depression or anxiety. And if their partner has it, then it's 1 in 2. So it goes to 50% if the spouse or the partner has it. So this is a major problem. We estimate over 800,000 new parents a year have these issues, but only 25% of them get help, and most of those are women. Not very few of those are men. And I was, at one point, my children are a little older, but I was one of those guys years ago who suffered from this and didn't know that that's what I was suffering from.
And that's with your background. So
Right, exactly. Like, I got lucky.
Right. So how would a family be able to look at a couple and see that both people are having some kind of impact from this as opposed to just the mother?
So it's important to know that it's a thing, but it's also important to know what you're looking for. So for most of the time, for women, you expect to see tearfulness or sadness, and a lot of women will, because they're just better communicating with their friends and they have a larger social network than a lot of men do, they will talk about some of these things. But for men, it looks very, very different. It's a lot of anger, irritability, withdrawal, isolation, working later than usual, maybe drinking or smoking or using substances more than usual. It could be a lot more subtle, or it could be mistaken for something else. And that's one of the biggest hindrances of getting help, is that a lot of families don't know if that's what they're looking at.
So for men who are open to the idea that they have mental is a part of health, and perhaps they have had depression or some other mental connections to health issues before a pregnancy, before a birth, how can they tell the difference that maybe this is moving into another form of mental health issue?
Well, as I said, the first and foremost, it's knowing that this could happen. And it's not feeling the stigma or the shame of having this happen. So, like, I didn't have any previous medical history with mental health, and I didn't realize that this irritability, this anger that was building up inside of me was a response, was a postpartum depression, or it was an anxiety that became a depression. A lot of times it's going to go away. We choke it down. A lot of men don't have doctors. A lot of guys don't go to the doctor when they're at the age that they're becoming parents. They might not have had a visit to a physician for years. They might accompany their partner to the doctor, but the doctor that they're seeing is a woman's doctor, a gynecologist, and they're not asking the dad how they're doing, or if they do, it's just, hey, how you doing? And they don't really give much more credence to it. So it's educating the family, it's educating the community about this, so this way somebody could maybe go up to a dad and say, hey, are you doing okay? And if the dad's like, I'm not, then that person can say, well, I know how I can get you help. I can give you a name, I can give you a phone number or an email or a website, and you can get help, because there's a lot of help out there. There's a lot more help out there now than there was 12 years ago when I went through this.
So how often do men in your situation from years ago acknowledge that something is going on, and how many of those men are able to say, I'm certain this is something to do with perinatal mental health disorder?
Well, I'm sure you know, well, a lot of guys, we're not really good at talking about our feelings.
Right.
So in all my time as a parent and when I went through this and afterwards as a physician, I have had maybe, I can count on one hand, the number of dads who have ever said, I'm having a hard time. We screen all dads, we screen all parents for these things, but very few have ever said, I need some help. Even some of my own friends only said after the fact things like, I don't think I was the best parent for those first 6 months, which is an acknowledgement that something was going on, but they never, they got through it, but it wasn't a very pleasant experience.
So if somebody wants to learn more about this, how can they do this? How can
The
they find out
easiest
more?
thing to do is go to postpartum.net. That's the email, that's the website for Postpartum Support International. There is a whole page there for fathers that you can learn all kinds of information. We have a free chat where parents can call in, dads or moms, to talk about what's going on with their spouses weekly. And there's a phone number. There's 1-800-944-4773 that they can call anytime if they know somebody who's suffering, if they need to get help themselves. There's a directory on the website, and also when you call, they can link you up with mental health providers in your local communities who are trained to help families and parents suffering from postpartum depression or anxiety or any other of these perinatal health disorders. There's everything from, there's ones for military families, there's ones for African-American families, there's ones for LGBTQ families. You name it, we can cover any type of parent, male or female, who is going through any trouble after the birth of, or during or after the birth of their child.
So, do you know any of any differences that are particular to African American men?
So African American community is generally less connected and has obviously suffered many generations worth of poor care. It mostly comes down to kind of like cultural acceptances of mental health. That doesn't make it unique. It's just that there are some cultures where, male culture in general is poor about accepting mental health disorders. Some are just more so than others. But we have specific groups that are available for just those groups. Like, we tried to get as specific as possible so that way people would feel comfortable in talking to people who are like-minded or culturally.
Okay. Well, that certainly makes a lot of sense. We have our own mental health issues and health issues, but a lot of it comes down to whether we take care of ourselves, whether we do preventative treatment, and whether we identify that something's off and check in with the appropriate doctor. So this would be another one of those things, but I'm certainly glad that you are sharing with us some of the things to watch for, and especially watch for with our loved ones, where we might see something that we can help them by sending them to this website, making a call, and getting them some help, at least providing them with the opportunity to move forward. Anything else you can add before we let you go and move to the next segment?
Sure. All I would ever want any new parent to know is we all want to be there for our kids. But sometimes we neglect ourselves way too much. And it's important to acknowledge that without us being whole, the parents, especially the dads, our children can't be whole either. And acknowledging and accepting that you need help is an important thing for all families, for all parents. And it goes even further, because then it will engender in your child is that they will learn how to get that help too, whether that's from their parents or from their community or anybody later in life. You want to start off on the right foot. This is not something to be ashamed of. It's something that can be helped. I am a perfect example of somebody who suffered and was able to get help. And we just want people to know, dads to know, we're here for you. We can help you and make you the best dad that we can.
All right. Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Dr. David Levine. Appreciate your time spent spending with us and our WBOK family of listeners. This has been quite insightful. I have to say, I hadn't thought about this. So I'm really glad that you are on with us, even though it was 31 years ago. I think maybe at points I might have had some of this, and it would have been good to know. and to
Well, I
do
appreciate the
something about
opportunity.
it. Yeah. So thank you very much. Lord's blessings, sir. Have a fabulous day.
Same.
All right, folks. We just heard from Dr. David Levine. I don't know about you, but perinatal is mental health disorder. In men, is not something that I really thought about. And so that's one of the things we try to do that we do at WBOK Good Morning Show. And I hope you learned something, because I sure did. And again, bring your attention to the website that Dr. Levine mentioned, and that is postpartum.net. postpartum.net. And the helpline number is 1-800-944-4773. 1-800-944-4773. We're going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to have some more news and information. We're going to check on the weather, and we got some other things coming up for you as well. If you want to call and comment about Mama Vera and Community Book Center being selected as the official book partner at the Essence Festival of Culture, give us a ring. Or if you want to call and weigh in on perinatal mental health disorders, that would be good. And what are you all thinking about the teacher raises and what's going on with that? Are you staying indoors because of the weather, or are you going to venture out anyway? We'd love to hear from you. The talk line is 504-582-9422, 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat. NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal is partnering with a tech wonderland right in the middle of New York City. It's called Tomorrow, stylized as TM:RW. And it's designed to showcase the tech and innovation of the future.
Robots, dog robots, holograms, headphones, glasses, meta glasses. Just, it's a beautiful place to be. And I think if you're ever in Times Square, you should definitely check it out.
In this conversation on Bloomberg, Shaq explained why he decided to throw his money behind the Times Square-based store.
Well, I always invest in things that I first believe in and, things that are going to change people's lives. This is something that, there's not really a lot of competition out there. And I know once people come inside the store, they will love what they see and they will fall in love with what they see.
Stop by and you might even see Shaq himself, or maybe even a hologram of him.
A beautiful, sexy hologram. It's a hologram, a beautiful, sexy hologram.
I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
It's deck days at Lowe's, and the savings are stacked. Right now, pros get 15% off all in-stock composite decking from top brands like Trex, TimberTech, and Decorators. Plus, get a free DeWalt 20-volt max 5-amp-hour battery when you buy a select DeWalt tool. The deck's stacked in your favor with brands pros trust. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 4/22 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
And Doug.
There's nowhere I wouldn't go to help someone customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual, even if it means sitting front row at a comedy show.
Hey everyone, check out this guy and his bird. What is this, your first date?
Oh, no. We help people customize and save on car insurance with Liberty Mutual together. We're married. Me to a human, him to a bird.
Yeah, the bird looks out of your league anyways.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Hey everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch.
Some convos are too good to miss. Now you can pull up a chair to the front porch anytime.
Just search WBOK Media and subscribe to the Front Porch Podcast.
Download, share, and hit us with a 5-star rating because New Orleans culture deserves to be heard loud and clear.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more. Life has a way of shifting priorities, changing needs, and pivoting plans. Home Bank is there for all of them. Their bankers partner with you for every step along the way, from understanding your needs to celebrating your success. Home Bank is invested in the vibrant spirit of our community and in you. So partner with them. Stop on by any banking center in the greater New Orleans area or visit home24bank.com to get started today. Good for business, good for life. Home Bank, a member of the FDIC.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another open enrollment update. Who do I have on the line today?
Hi, you're speaking with Vanessa Scott of BSG of Louisiana.
Can you tell us a little bit about what is open enrollment?
The open enrollment period is for Medicare members that want to change from one plan to another.
Why is open enrollment so important?
Because a lot of people missed out on the annual enrollment period, so they need to have a one-on-one review.
And if you have questions or concerns about your Medicare plans, what should you do?
You just pick up the phone, call 504-621-3687. We even come out to your house. Zero cost to them.
Get with BSG of Louisiana for your Medicare review.
For church groups, senior communities, or disability organizations, call 504-621-3687. We are an independent insurance agency providing information about Medicare-related insurance plans. We are not connected or endorsed by Medicare or the U.S. government.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. Good conversation with Dr. David Levine about men and perinatal health, mental health disorders, male version of postpartum. I learned a few things, and I hope you did too. It is 7:49 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8. You got about 11 minutes, so hope you take care of yourself, do all you need to do before you leave the house, and keep in mind there's some wet streets and wet highways out there, so be careful. Good morning, Reverend Calhoun. You on Will Sutton. How are you, sir?
Dr. Sutton, how are we doing this morning?
Fabulous, fabulous.
Let me make an announcement first. We need some help this morning over at Pete Sanchez at 9:30 to fill sandbags. So if we could get anybody to come out and help us, we would appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's my question, Will. So now that it seems like the governor's recommendation to move money from one area to another so that our teachers could be paid, look like to me at the current rate, because if this money does not materialize, then they will lose money in their paycheck. Am I correct?
Well, I think that depends on the system, the school system. In New Orleans, for instance, the most public school teachers are expected to get about $2,000 annual stipends for this next year. But it makes a difference, the size of the system, how they have budgeted, and it's going to make a difference with where they take that money from. And, we've been talking about part of the issue, as I see it, Reverend Calhoun, is we keep talking about these stipends and bonus, and it's not really a pay raise. A pay raise in the years of employment that I've had means that you're going to up it even if it's by 1%, 3%, 5%, but you keep that level of compensation. And we keep talking about pay raise, and I keep hearing stipend. A stipend is not a pay raise, and I got problems with that.
Where the money coming from? Out the classroom? Out of MFP?
Well, that is something that those school districts are going to have to figure out, because obviously if it's coming out of a classroom, then more likely than not, that's going to mean some teacher aides are not going to be able to be in the classroom. That's probably going to mean larger class sizes in some cases, or it's going to mean curriculum cuts with certain programming, certain courses not being able to be sustained because of the money
So
going
it sounds like
to
you're
teachers.
saying what the programming or what staff or whatever is going to maybe cut in order to give this stipend, right?
That's my belief and my understanding, but I do think that the way the governor has set it up is that if this goes through, keep in mind that the legislators have to vote on this, even though they're not in session, they have to vote by June 23rd. So they have to send in their votes to say yay or nay, and the governor needs 2/3 of them to say yay if this is going to proceed. Meanwhile, you got school districts all over the place scrambling to figure out where they could pull that money to make that happen. But he's looking at a $170 million reduction in public school funding to have this happen. But the legislature has to approve the method that he
Where this
says
money
is the
come
right
from?
way. Yeah, the right way to go.
My concern is how much more now will be taken away out of public education now. How damaging this is going to be to public education. These monies are not going to come back. Once the money leaves this area, once the money gets away from us, it does not come back to us. And basically what I'm saying is we got a problem. And I don't think we have people sitting up in the legislature sit down and figure out what really needs to be done. We have a school system that's not doing well in terms of education because resources are being taken away from it. So now you're saying we're going to take more resources from it, and that's the solution? No, I don't get that part well.
Yeah, and I want to be clear about my comments about the classroom. I believe that it's going to be hard not to do that. The governor says he doesn't want to see cuts in the classroom. The governor says that he wants to maintain essential services. But if you say no cuts in the classroom and maintain essential services such as security, food, transportation, then where are you going to cut to be able to move that money to teachers? And believe me, I feel like teachers and aides and counselors deserve pay raises, not stipends. But when you say you're going to have to find it, that's a challenge, especially on such short notice.
Well, again, this has seemed to be a problem with money. And it seems that if we got millions of dollars to do a pool and all of this type of stuff, why is not any money? And I mean, he and Donald are great friends. Look like some money, I'm assuming some money is going to be saved with the dismantling of the Department of Education. So it seems like to me something should be done, something can be done from a federal point to see that our teachers are on at least an equal pay basis areas of the states. So I don't get this part. I just don't understand exactly what's happening and how the poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. That's what seemed to be happening to me.
Well, I don't know if you saw, but the Louisiana Legislative Auditor Mike Wagerspack said yesterday that after looking at the funding, looking at the monies, that he believes that the majority of school districts can make this happen and make it happen with the money that they have. So that was a positive for the governor and for legislators who might consider being a part of the 2/3 to make that happen.
So they're saying the money is there. Not the money is there, that they can make the necessary cuts. And so nobody seems to understand how our schools are struggling financially right now.
Mike Wagerspack said yesterday that his office has reviewed the budgets of 70 school districts, roughly 70 school districts. And it's his belief, based on that research and that data exploration, that these districts can weather the storm of cutting with the resources that have, as he and his team have looked at, reserve funds. So part of what he's saying is you got this money in reserve, and that's been a good thing, but now you need it, and you need to use it.
Okay, so now he's saying let's go rob somewhere else to pay. I got you.
Yep. So tap into that rainy day fund.
One last thing. Mm-hmm. Remember the money that we voted for that was supposed to go to the RSD and all of that, that millage for the schools some years ago.
Uh-huh.
We came up that they said we're going to have this dedicated millage for the schools, right? And it was supposed to be used for school repairs and maintaining the buildings, right? Mm-hmm. Which the little piece that was in there was that depending on the population of the school, they don't give no money to a school that don't have any children in it, which disqualifies MLK and Reed and the rest of them. So my question is, can those monies be reallocated to be redefined to help our teachers?
Yeah, that's a good point, and I do not know the answer to that, but that's certainly worth looking into. All right, Reverend Calhoun, we're going to have to go to our break.
All right,
and we got another guest coming on that I think you and others will want.
If anybody can come down to the Lower Ninth Ward at the P. Sanchez Center to help us fill sandbags, we appreciate it.
What's that intersection over by the Pete Sanchez?
Fats Domino and Claiborne.
There you go. Easy to get.
All right.
All right. Thanks a lot. Lord's blessings. Have a great day. All right, folks. Quick weather update. The storms and the tropical cyclone 1 is developing. The strengthening is possible and expected. The disturbance could move from a tropical cyclone to a tropical storm. And if it moves into that category later today, it would get a name. And that is Tropical Storm Arthur. Well, that's some timing. We are about to go into break, and when we come back, we will hear from Hurricane Tropical Storm Judge Arthur Hunter. So he's going to storm on in here and provide us some context and some information, some background. He doesn't come with precipitation, but he's coming with some information about the judicial system and what's happening in New Orleans. All right, we're going to break. And remember, the phone number is 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
WBOK New Orleans, home of the Good Morning Show, 7 to 9 a.m. weekdays.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. NBC News projects Rick Jackson will win the Republican primary runoff for Georgia governor. The healthcare executive and first-time candidate thanked his supporters.
We're not building a campaign for the insiders. We are building a movement for the people, and you're who I'm going to represent.
He defeated President Trump's endorsed candidate, Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones. Jackson will face Democratic nominee Keisha Lance Bottoms in the November general election. A new survey from the Public Religion Research Institute found that 2/3 of Americans feel the U.S. is in danger of losing important democratic rights and freedoms. And Alligator Alcatraz is now empty. The Department of Homeland Security announced all detainees have been transferred to other facilities ahead of hurricane season. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Good morning, wake up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It is 8:03 a.m. You got somewhere to be at 8:05. You've got 1 minute because it just turned to 8:04 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, and I'm here at the Good Morning Show on WBOK 1230 a.m. We are live and streaming on WBOK's Facebook page, also on Instagram, and on WBOK's Facebook channel. As I told you, we are looking at Tropical Cyclone 1 becoming Tropical Storm Arthur, a little later today. So moving into name category. And we have Judge Arthur Hunter, retired Judge Arthur Hunter. But you don't have to worry about him in terms of being precipitation storm. So rather than worry about that, we're going to focus on some judicial information. First of all, welcome back to WBOK, Judge.
Thanks, Will. Appreciate it. Good seeing you again.
Good seeing you. It's not like this is the only time I see you. I mean, I move around. And it's like here's a bunch of people, and there's a judge.
Hey, look.
Here's a meeting, and there's a judge.
Even though I retired, I haven't gone fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. And since you retired, there's been a number of things happening, but some big things happened this year with criminal court judgeships, sections being cut, as well as municipal and traffic court judgeships and sections being cut, and juvenile court judgeships being cut. Now, the juvenile court cuts are through attrition, so that's over time.
Yeah, once they finish their terms.
Yeah. So those judges can run for re-election this fall, and they may have challenges, may not.
Yes.
But they are running for terms that will still exist.
Yes.
And with municipal and traffic court, that's being cut. And again, that's similar to the juvenile, and that those won't be gone immediately, like at the end of this year. But with the criminal court, it's whack, whack, whack. 3 judicial sections identified.
Yes.
We have talked here with Judge Rhonda Good Douglas, and we've talked here with Judge Simone Levine, and we have talked with Judge Leon Roche. We haven't talked with Judge John Fuller, but Gerard did on the reality check. One of them, Rhonda Good Douglas, said she is running to continue her judicial service in criminal court, and she's selected Section I, which is currently led by Judge Leon Roche. The others said they're weighing their options, but nobody seemed to say, I'm just going to walk away. I think they all want to continue to be a judge. But one of the things that I'm concerned about is the impact of cutting 1 judge, 2 judges, 3 judges, and all at the same time. What's going to happen in January, no matter who's elected, with fewer seats, fewer sections?
Yeah.
I'm no expert, but you are, and I see problems ahead.
Well, look, let me tell you, when I was elected in 1996, they created 2 sections of the criminal district court, K and L, because of the overflow of cases, the backlog of cases. Now you're eliminating 3 sections of court, which means at a minimum 50 to 100 cases between now and December 31st will go to the remaining 9 sections of court. Now,
50 to 100.
Yeah. We'll go to each of those judges, each of the remaining 9 judges, between now and December 31st.
Remaining judge would get 50 to 100 more?
Yeah, between now and then, because you have to realize sections E, A, and J will continue to receive cases up until December 31st.
Right.
So,
but
there's
then
going to be
January
more.
1, they're going away, but the cases remain.
Oh, the cases remain, yes. But not only that, the remaining 9 judges who will be there next year will continue to receive cases as well between now and December 31st. So you're going to have lots of cases with 9 judges. And look, you have to, this is what you have to remember for people who are in jail, cannot make a bond. And this is what you have for those people. You have people who have mental health issues, drug addiction issues. Many have both. The sheriff has to feed them, clothe them, provide a roof over their heads, make sure they don't escape. You have to make sure that they don't kill each other or kill themselves or attack your staff. And the sheriff has to deal with that 24/7, 365. So now people would be in jail longer, which also means the city has to pay more money to the sheriff, which means that comes from us, the taxpayers. So it's a financial burden. It's going to be a heavy burden on the sheriff as well.
So we already have Orleans Parish jail issues with overcrowding.
Yes.
And recently, some folks who have been detained with court cases have been returned to the jail. So if we're going to have more people going to the jail, where are they going to go?
It's a good question. That is something that our elected officials in city government have to answer.
Okay, so is one option that we, with our jail, we have to become responsible. We have no room at the inn, and we have to send them elsewhere and pay more, maybe a premium?
Oh, yes. Yes, either to the Department of Corrections or to other sheriff's offices in the area.
And we'll have to pay for it.
Oh, you have to pay for it, yes. There's no doubt about that. Those sheriffs in the DLC, those sheriffs are not going to do it for free. Because they have to do the same thing. They have to clothe them. They have to feed them. They have to deal with their medical needs, both physical and mental, and that costs. So, one of the consequences of having less judges in criminal district court is that people will be in jail longer. But not only that, you have victims. Victims now have to wait longer to have their cases heard in court. You have witnesses who already may have issues with remembering things. If you're a police officer, especially if you're in homicide, sex crimes, or domestic violence, you want your case to be adjudicated as fast as you can. Because victims now, especially in domestic violence and sex assault, may feel, if I can't get my day in court, why even call the police? Why even press charges? Because it's going to take longer. Another consequence is too, well, I don't think people think about, if I can't get justice in that courtroom because I don't know when my trial is going to come, or when there is going to be a trial, then I'll take justice out there in the streets. That is something as well. And again, if you want to send a message to the criminals out there with a swift punishment, now it's going to take longer to get that punishment message out there as well. So those are the consequences which I don't believe people think about that happens in criminal district court.
Well, the governor got elected in large part on attacking New Orleans and having a tough on crime stance. But if I'm understanding you correctly, so if you have a tough on crime stance and you are aiming for swift justice and lowering the age and having more people process, you're actually not having tough on crime because you can't get through the judiciary to listen to both sides, because not everybody's guilty.
Correct.
And listen to both sides, hear the evidence, reach a conclusion that may be tough or not.
Right.
So it's less likely that you have tough on crime.
In addition, the governor and attorney general have touted the success of Know the Truth. Those cases, which represent maybe 20% of the cases in criminal district court, those cases are going to take longer as well to go through the system.
All right. We got a caller. Good morning, Alicia. You are on with Will Sutton and Judge Arthur Hunter. Good morning.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Judge. Alicia Plummer here. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Alicia?
I'm great. Judge, I just want to say this to you. I like to give kudos when they're due. I used to be, now listen to me, I used to be called for jury duty every 2 years at clockwork. I haven't been called these last few years. Maybe I'm too vocal. But I have to say, you were one of the judges that I really enjoyed serving jury duty for, because you respected the jurors. And one thing I remember, a couple of things really, but you would say to the attorneys, move on, asked and answered, move on. And you would even you would admonish them, you're not going to disrespect my jurors, move on. And I like that because you were very respectful to us jurors. And I appreciate that, and I just have to say that to you.
Well, I appreciate that, Alicia. Jurors, people, I still get calls about people who don't want to do jury duty. And you should want to do jury duty because as a juror, you're there to hold everyone accountable.
Right.
And it's important that you have people on a jury who can listen to both sides and render a fair verdict.
But as a juror, I was thrown off voir dire by Judge Bigelow because I wasn't going along with what he was saying and doing, and also Judge Shea. And Judge Shea had asked me at that time, and this is a question. At that time, we were juror number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now they're calling us by our names. And I think that needs to change because you never know what somebody's going to do who's pissed off with the jury. But, he never allowed the defendant's attorney to speak. And so every time they came around to me, if we do this, could you find the person guilty? And I kept saying no because I don't like how the judge is treating the defendant's attorney not giving him a chance to say anything. After 3 times of that, the Judge Shea said, that's not my issue. After the 3rd time I'm saying that, he said, jury number such and such and such, you can go on back down to the jury room. That was Judge Shea. You know, now see, that's the part I'm talking about. You were very respectful of the jurors, and you were respectful of our time. And I appreciate that.
All right, thank you. I appreciate thanks, Alicia. I appreciate that.
All right. Lord's blessings, Alicia. Have a fabulous day. Be careful if you go outside. All right. So with some of the anticipated problems, well, actually, I'll change that. Some of the problems. This is going to happen.
It's foreseeable.
This is going to happen.
Yeah.
What are we to do as we citizens who don't play a direct role daily with the courts, but what are we to watch for? And as voters, how do we realize that a serious storm is coming and select judges with that additional information? So it was an important job when we had 12 to play a role and vote for candidates of our choice. But now there's this extra layer of stuff. And in at least one case, and probably others, we'll have incumbent versus incumbent. And then I'm sure there's some young attorneys or even veteran attorneys who've been waiting for a shot to become a judge. How do we think about that as elections start in earnest this summer and go into the fall?
It's going to be interesting. As basically, all I can say. It's going to be interesting to see who qualifies against who. And once that happens, how the campaign goes. Because every campaign, not only do you want to talk about, what you can do positively, but, there may be some negativity out there as well. Nobody likes the negativity, but they always seem to creep in every campaign. But I suspect on a practical, just not dealing with the electoral system, when the cries get louder about the cases of backlog at criminal district court, the Supreme Court may step in and appoint people, retired judges, to handle some of those cases. So if that happens,
an additional expense.
That's correct. And because
they're not going to come back for no money.
That's correct.
They're going to volunteer.
Yeah, because not only do you have to pay them, you're going to have to pay a staff for that judge as well. So any cost saving that you see today are going to happen and reoccur in about maybe sometime next year, if not sooner.
So you're going to come back and help be a candidate for one of these sections, and with all of your previous experience, what about that?
No.
Not going to happen.
I don't foresee that.
Okay.
I don't foresee running against an incumbent judge.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense.
Do you see the possibility of any retired judge looking at this and being willing to step back in with fewer judges and feel like he or she can play a role and help with this because of the experience?
Yes.
You do see that?
I do see that. I do see that possibility.
Okay.
Yes. If I'm asked by the Supreme Court to step up and go back to criminal district court, I will.
But not running for office?
No. I don't
as
foresee
an
that.
Appointment?
No, only as an appointment. I don't foresee running against an incumbent judge.
Okay. All right. And before we let you go, you've been a candidate. Where you stand on future public service?
I'm always there, Will, because look, it's about making people's lives better. And, that's why, when I first ran for judge, it was to make people's lives better and make sure that the criminal justice process was fair, holding people accountable. But also putting people on paths where they don't have to go back to criminal district court. So I'm still doing that, working with Delgado Community College with a career training program that we started a couple of years ago. So I will always be there for the community, for the people.
Okay, specific questions. Do you think you'll run for mayor again?
Never say never. That's all I can say.
Do you think you'll run for DA again?
Hesitancy, huh? It's quiet, huh? I don't particularly foresee that either.
Okay. All right. Do you see any other citywide elected position that you would consider now?
Right now, you never know what opens up. But I do know this, that I will always be ready to serve, and I will always be ready to come up with plans and have programs to make people's lives better. Okay. That I will guarantee.
All right. Very good. All right, Judge Arthur Hunter, not the tropical storm author, the retired judge, public servant for decades here in New Orleans and Louisiana. Appreciate your coming in.
Thank you, Will.
And
appreciate your invite.
some insights about what's happening and what's going to happen with our criminal district courts, because they're trying to save money, and doesn't look like that's going to be happening.
No, it's not. It's not going to save money at all.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll be digging into that some more and watching that. Folks, it is 8:22 a.m. I'm Will Sutton, ending the conversation with retired Judge Arthur Hunter, going into a break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about some health issues, specifically Gun Violence Awareness Month, with reps from the New Orleans Health Department right after the break. The talk line, if you want to talk about that as they're on, or if you want to try to get on the show right before the end, the talk line is 504-582-9422. This is WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Elizabeth Kubel, and here are today's headlines for you. Get ready now. That is the message from parish leaders as the threat of severe weather moves into our area. We are expecting heavy rain that could dump inches of water across portions of our area later today. And as we continue monitoring the flash flooding threat in New Orleans, city leaders are outlining their plans for severe weather. Today, we will get details on the city's emergency preparedness plan as storms are expected to intensify later today and into Thursday. Mayor Helena Moreno, NOPD Superintendent Ann Kirkpatrick, and other public safety officials will be there. It is happening at 2 p.m. at City Hall. And a state of emergency is in effect in Picayune. This after the city saw massive flooding on Tuesday, especially downtown. Crews pulled out multiple stalled vehicles. The high school there on Laurel Street is open as a shelter, and they are also offering sandbags there. And that is a look for you at today's headlines. I'm Elizabeth Kubel for WBOK. Have a great day.
Hey, everybody, it's Graylin Bryant Banks.
And Kimber White Dupree.
From the front porch, y'all. You know how we do. Every Monday is Moving Monday.
And Tuesday is Trivia Tuesday.
And y'all know we have nothing but bad cheering coming through here on Wednesday.
But stick with us. On Thursday, we travel.
That's right. And Friday's Free Your Mind Friday, so get your brass up.
Something on your mind? Want to get it off your chest?
Holla at your people. WBOK 1230 a.m., the station you listen to
all day long.
This is The Law in Your Legacy. I'm attorney Pete Hamilton.
I'm attorney Ryan Hamilton.
If you had $1 million, would you leave it to an 18-year-old?
Hopefully not, but that's exactly what can happen with a simple will. The money goes straight to your kids when they hit the legal age, no guardrails.
A trust lets you control when and how they receive their inheritance. You can set ages, milestones, or even make sure they finish school first.
Give them security, not a spending spree.
This is not legal advice. That's just a tip brought to you by Liberty Bank and Trust. For more information, go to libertybank.net or contact us at 504-915-5016.
Well, Saints of God, this is Pastor David Impartan Sr. coming to you over the airways of WBOK, your favorite host of Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. Want to invite you to our show every Saturday from 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock p.m. That's Change Your Water, Change Your Mind. Want you to invite your family and friends to a broadcast that's designed to change your life, the way you think, the way you act, and what you eat. We want you to tune in every Saturday at 1 o'clock, WBOK, 1230 a.m. See you on Saturday.
Step back in time and experience the moments that shaped our world at the National World War II Museum, located in the heart of the Warehouse District in New Orleans. This world-renowned museum brings history to life, telling America's story in the war that changed everything, why it was fought, how it was won, and what it means today. From immersive exhibits to powerful personal stories, this is more than a museum. It's an experience. Plan your visit today at nationalww2museum.org. World War II Museum, where history lives.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans, and welcome back to the Good Morning Show right here at WBOK. If you're listening on the radio, that's 12:30 a.m. If you're tuning in via YouTube, that's the WBOK channel on YouTube. And, of course, we got Instagram these days, you IG folks. I already saw some comments, so I know you're watching on IG. And, of course, as always, our wonderful big audience on Facebook, watching live. Hey, y'all. I sure wish I could see y'all's faces on the screen, those who are not in your bonnets and sleepwear. That I wish I could see y'all. But you can see me. So we've got a special lineup coming right now. But let me just remind you, it's 8:27 a.m. You got to be there at 8:30. You got about 2 minutes now because it's 8:28. So I hope you're real close to pulling in and stepping up. Firing up that laptop, letting the boss know you're here and working. Perhaps you started at home, so make sure they know that too. All right, and remember, wet weather. We got Tropical Cyclone 1 becoming Tropical Storm Arthur today. Highly likely. Possible, but highly likely. So that's going to mean stronger winds. So carry your umbrellas, but get ready for some winds that might blow those around. I am happy to say that we've got some representatives here who are going to talk with us about violence prevention and that ecosystem, and also Gun Violence Awareness Month. And this is an important set of issues year-round, but we highlight that this month with Gun Violence Awareness Month. And we've got with us Jennifer Hunt from the New Orleans Department of Health and Human Services, Dr. Annalise DeWolf and from University Medical Center in New Orleans. And we've got Kaylin Green from Manning's Family Children Hospital. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to the Good Morning Show. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Well, what is a violence prevention ecosystem? We got, all these people talking about the tech ecosystem and the business ecosystem, and so what is violence prevention ecosystem?
Well, I can see my colleagues looking at me, so I think I'll take this one. Hi, I'm Jennifer Hunt. I'm with the Health and Human Services Department with New Orleans. And we have developed an ecosystem of practitioners, community members, trusted messengers, providers, agencies that are all working to respond to instances of violence and ultimately prevent future instances of violence. And so what that looks like is us working really closely together to coordinate our services, to create what we call a wraparound net. So really meeting people where they are, figuring out what are your unique needs and how can we as agencies that are here to support you cater to those unique needs by creating this wraparound net. And so the ecosystem is that group of practitioners all working together, coordinating together, staying in communication to make sure that we are providing those services.
Hence your partners here today.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to be here with them.
All right. So Dr. DeWolf at the University Medical Center, you don't want to see people hurt.
No.
You don't want to people have injuries that are life-threatening. But but you do.
Yeah.
And some of those are the result of gunshots and other violence. What is that like at UMC? And because prevention would be the best case scenario.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when they get to you, what do you see?
So I'll say the whole reason I got into this space is as a ER doctor working at UMC through the last since the hospital opened. During the peak of our gun violence during the pandemic, we were averaging about 1,000 gunshot wounds coming to the hospital, 1,000 individuals with gunshot wounds coming to the hospital per year. We are thankfully down to about half that now.
Oh, good.
But that's still
Yeah.
over one person a day getting shot coming to our
Yeah.
hospital. So as a healthcare provider, as an ER doctor, I have had countless conversations with families, with individuals about the aftermath of gun violence, knowing sometimes that this is just the beginning of a cycle. And it's been heartbreaking, and there's clear demographic and communities that are more impacted, and that feels deeply unfair. And what we've wanted to do from the hospital and in partnership with the health department is really wrap resources around those who are most impacted by gun violence and try to stop these cycles before they take off.
So who are some of the people who are most affected by gun violence? What's that demographic look like? Age range?
Yeah.
Ethnicity, race?
Yeah.
Income?
Yeah. So we know that the people who are disproportionately impacted by gun violence are those who are most disconnected from community resources. So people who are where there's pockets of poverty, in particular in cities where there's a lot of inequity. So in particular where there's a big gap between the haves and the have-nots. We know being black in and of itself is not the risk factor. It's connected to all those environmental and societal dynamics that make people be disconnected from resources. We know that when you don't have economic mobility, you're more likely to be in the street, involved in some of those more high-risk actions that can lead to and add to gun violence. We know that trauma, then the mental health effects of trauma go from generation to generation. So what we see is from young to old. In the city, it's from young to old. I think our oldest survivor of a gunshot wound was in their 80s. And the youngest, obviously, we've seen quite young.
So, Kaylin, that brings me to your shop, Manning, focused on children, family and children. I think so often we think about gun violence with loved ones and a gun is involved, or a shoot 'em up with people who are enemies of sorts. But we don't often think about kids.
Yeah, 100%.
So how are kids connected to gun violence?
Kids are connected to this because ultimately, like Dr. DeWolf was saying, they're part of our community, and what we see spans across every level of the community and doesn't discriminate. What we see a lot of times at Manning Family Children specifically are those accidental shootings. Anyone who's over about at the age of 13 typically goes down to university, so we typically see the littles, which, like you said, people don't often think about, where guns were left unsecured. Sometimes it was an accident. Kids are curious, and accidents happen, but they can be life-threatening. And so just a split-second moment of not taking the extra step to secure your firearm or not knowing the risk that is involved in not having your firearm securely stored is something that we try to get ahead of on the front end. And then also just tying in the work that Thrive Kids does on a day-to-day basis for mental health. A lot of times also I don't think that it's a common thought about the role that firearms play when you have teenagers who may be dealing with mental health issues, being bullied at school, like just thinking about how firearms and secure firearm usage and storage plays a role in the health of our community across every level is where we come in.
So I know folks with guns.
Mhm.
I know folks who are part of gun groups, hunter groups, Second Amendment, all of that. And some of them, I think, are really good gun people, responsible, locks on their guns, storage, even if they have multiple guns. But I run into some people it's like, well, why am I going to store my gun? Why am I going to put a lock? Because if somebody comes, I need to be ready. You know, so I keep it under my pillow. I keep it by the bedside, and I got to be ready to go. I can't just lock it, and I even keep it unlocked in my car. That's why it's like under my seat. What we tell them.
For us, I kind of hear this all the time when we go out and distribute our safes and talk to community members. I think what makes the work that we're doing together and that we've done in partnership with the city, getting funding, and that we're going to be able to expand very soon, is that we have, through survey data from the Louisiana Department of Health, identified what type of locking device gun owners themselves responded to the survey and said what they would most likely use, and that is the biometric gun safe. And so that's what we give out in our community. That's what we're happy to connect anyone who's listening to receive. These biometric gun safes open 3 ways: with a key, with a code, or with a fingerprint. But that fingerprint aspect is what makes it open for you and only you in a split second if you need it. It's portable, so we recommend putting it in your car if you travel with firearms a lot. That is a lot of times why we're seeing a lot of car break-ins, is looking for weapons. So it just helps to be a good community member all around, and we're happy to give out the most utilized resource, because at the end of the day, we want people to secure their guns. So whatever they need to be able to actually do that is what we do.
So if somebody went somewhere and wanted to buy one of these, how much would that cost?
You can get them on Amazon for about $60. We also, at all times, have a discount code on Manning Family Children's website. If you click Community Gun Safety, there's a discount code for you to order the exact safes we hand out online, or to sign up on a wait list to come pick up at the hospital. Every single month, we do a drive-through pickup where you just put in your information and you're able to come. You get an email to come pick up. But for those who want to buy one, we give one per household. So if you have more than one firearm or like to buy one for a family member, they range at about $60 for the biometric ones.
Okay. So we have different types of guns. And unfortunately, we have people putting guns together from parts. And they become more dangerous because they can shoot more bullets more often. And some of those guns are illegal, so they're not registered. How can we help the people with these guns who they have illegal guns, and they're probably not inclined to think gun safety. But if somebody has an illegal gun and they want to be safe, even though it's illegal, how can that kind of person be helped?
Well, I think it's important to recognize that, you know, there is a lot of conjecture in our community nationwide between friends about kind of spectrums of gun threats and what weapons are threatening and what weapons pose the most danger. And I think that what's really important to remember is that regardless of the type of firearm that is in a home, having a firearm in your home, regardless of who owns it or what type of firearm, increases your risk and every single member of that household's risk of death by suicide, accidental death, or homicide. And so it's really, you know, while we want people to think critically and closely about their particular weapon and how to store it and use it safely, we also want people to generally think about how they're making sure that they know how to use whatever weapon that they own, that they're owning it legally, that they're storing it properly, and that when they're interfacing with other people around guns, they're encouraging others to do that same thing by modeling that behavior. I also think it's important to note that handguns are what we overwhelmingly see in fatal violence in New Orleans. So While I do think it's important to have conversations about all of the different weapons that we need to keep our community safe around, we also need to keep in mind that the majority of weapons that are used in fatal violence in New Orleans are the most common weapon that we see sold in the United States, which is a 9mm handgun.
All right, that was Jennifer talking, and I'm going to ask you a question, Jennifer. Domestic violence.
Absolutely.
There are different forms of domestic violence, and there's non-physical domestic violence. There's physical hands-on domestic violence, and there's gun domestic violence. There are others, but when it comes to guns and domestic violence, what do you see in New Orleans with guns and domestic violence?
Unfortunately, we do see the story of fatal domestic violence and gun violence overlapping. So a lot of times when we have these conversations, we kind of try to silo the two topics. But when we really zoom in, what we realize is the majority of domestic violence, fatal domestic violence perpetrated in New Orleans is perpetrated using a firearm. But then also when we really look at a lot of the cases and conflicts that we call gun violence, they are familial, intimate partner, domestic relations related. And so in New Orleans, what we see is that domestic violence is the number one reported violent crime that impacts victims in New Orleans, and it's the number one reason why people call law enforcement. We average between 18 and 22 domestic violence homicides a year. My job in New Orleans my job for Orleans Parish is to identify, record, and report on each domestic violence related homicide, suicide, or accidental death that occurs annually. And really overwhelmingly, so between 70 to 90% of those deaths are perpetrated using a firearm, and again, typically a handgun. It is difficult to track legal ownership of firearms, and so we don't always know if a firearm was legally purchased or not, but very often they are. And one thing I do want to note is very often they belong to the victim themselves, because again, having a weapon can be used against you in a domestic violence situation, even if that weapon was intended to be personal protection. So it's really important, again, to think about how you're safely storing your firearms so that somebody that you do not intend to have access to it does not have access to it.
And before we move on to something else, one of the things that is a good thing about the city is that we have an Office of Prevention.
Yes,
There's
absolutely.
so many other places that don't. With the new administration, how has that changed, or what are you doing different?
Something that I've always been very proud of as a resident of New Orleans, as a lifelong resident of Louisiana, is that our health department sees domestic violence and gun violence, community violence, as a public health issue. We recognize that this determines the health, well-being, and happiness of the citizens of New Orleans just as much as some of the other social determinants of health do. And so this administration is committed to preventing violence and supporting those impacted by violence. Mayor Moreno has, throughout her career, supported the work of preventing violence and domestic violence, and I'm happy to say that that has been our experience. But the city of New Orleans and the health department has maintained a commitment over the last decade or more to see domestic violence, to see gun violence, to see community-based violence as a public health issue, and to intervene on a system level.
Okay. So, Dr. DeWolf, after folks have this unfortunate experience, I'm assuming that in some cases it's a victim that shows up with nobody. But then there are others where there's a bunch of family and friends and asking questions, and everybody wants to be in charge and all. So you have to sort through all of that. But part of it is what happens next, not just that day and the next day, but when released. And so are there crisis intervention things that are an important part of that, or how does that work?
Yeah, so if somebody gets shot, they come to UMC, and we have the medical team who is doing the resuscitation. They're often trauma activation, where they have surgeons and blood bank and all of the nurses and doctors and techs and everybody who are present. While that work, that medical intervention is happening, at the same time, we have violence interrupters who are credible members of the community who've been recruited for being incredible in terms of their emotional intelligence, being able to read the room, being able to hear what people aren't saying, and being able to understand and relate to the challenges people are facing in these circumstances. They're in the emergency department. They initially start with responding to the family. They help support the family. They wait with the family until it's time for an update. We go and give an update as soon as we're able to. So as soon as the patient is either stable enough or we know what's happening, we will go and talk to the family and loved ones and let them know the circumstances. If the individual who got shot is stable and they're doing well, our interrupter will go to the bedside and engage with the survivor. They will talk about what's next. Are you safe? When you leave this hospital, are you going to have a safe place to go home to? Or is the problem or the dynamic inside the home? What do we need to do to keep you safe? And then what is it that you want? When people are able to have this conversation, what is it that you want out of your life? And how can we as a program support you? If under the unfortunate circumstance that the person doesn't survive or has a critical, life-altering, devastating injury, I and the doctors will bring the interrupter with us to break that news. So that interrupter is there in these really intense moments, offering support, emotional support, getting information to help connect them to the resources that our ecosystem does have to bear, and then also listening when people are thinking about retaliation. Because as we said, so many times the people know who was behind that gun. And they've seen it maybe on social media, or it's dynamics that they're well aware of in the family. That's the short-term piece. While an individual stays in the hospital, our team supports the family and supports the individual themselves from an emotional basis, and also to kind of engage in that conversation of what comes next more deeply. After the person is discharged, we offer long-term free services to survivors. That is, what are your strengths? What are the things you need help with? How do we help you chart your own path? What are your short-term goals? What are your medium-term goals? What are your long-term goals? And what is the life plan? Mm-hmm. Usually it takes some time to get to what do I want out of my life, but our belief is that when you have security and safety, you choose that. But that takes some work to get there. And that's what our violence intervention specialists are there for. They do case management, but they also do a lot of looking at what your strengths and your desires are. And that's a partnership with the person who's been shot.
Okay. All right. Caitlin, before we go, how can somebody get one of these special biometric gun safes, assuming they just can't walk in on any given day? But so for those who have been listening, it's like, okay, I'm going to get one. How can they do that?
So they can go online to our website on manningfamilychildrens.org. If you click community and then click gun safety, they can sign up there to request a free biometric gun safe. They'll receive multiple opportunities to come pick up. So if they can't pick up the first day, or they'll have another chance the next month, they can always email the person who emails them to coordinate something if they need be. We are always at community events. We'll be at a whole bunch this month especially.
I bet. There's a lot of stuff going on.
Anytime you see community events, look at the flyer. If you see Manning Family Children's, if you see Ubuntu Village, if you see New Orleans Health Department logos, we probably will be there with gun safes or some sort of access to be able to get the education and sign up for a safe. And then also you can always go down to City Hall and request the Violence Prevention Office and request to receive a safe there, as well as they keep some on hand as well.
Okay, wonderful. Well, thank you all for coming in. I know it's a little early. As I tell folks all the time, it's not that I'm not up. It's just whether I'm on. So, and you have been on live stream as well as on the radio, so you can, you and our WBOK family of listeners, if you want to catch more of what they said, you can go within a half hour or so to our WBOK YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook Live page to rerun some or all of this conversation. Good information, ladies. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you so
much. I look forward to hearing that more people were educated and informed and took advantage of some of these opportunities, and that you have seen fewer people as well. All right, folks, it's 8:51 a.m. We got a few more minutes before it's time for the front porch with Graylin and Kemba. And the talk line is 504-582-9422. Ryan, I see you. Councilman, I see you. So we're going to get you on as soon as we can, but we got to run some spots. That's how we pay for this Black Talk radio station. This is WBOK 1230 AM, what New Orleans is talking about all day long.
AURN News.
I'm Jamie Jackson. Bitcoin posting gains Monday as investors reacted to reports of a possible deal between the United States and Iran. The cryptocurrency was up more than 3% at the start of the week, climbing above $66,000. The gains come as stock markets also moved higher on hopes that an agreement could reduce uncertainty surrounding the conflict. Bitcoin has seen dramatic swings over the past year and a half. After President Donald Trump's second term began, the cryptocurrency surged above $105,000. But as of April 2025, it had fallen to $75,000 before rebounding to a record high of $123,000 in October of that year. While Bitcoin remains well below the peak, investors are watching closely to see whether improving conditions in global markets can help fuel another rally. For AURN News, I'm Jamie Jackson.
New Orleans never sleeps, and neither does WBOK. Now, every voice, every moment, and every show is in your pocket. Search WBOK Media wherever you get podcasts. Download, share, rate us 5 stars. Because when you support us, you amplify Black voices and the New Orleans culture.
Climate Hope NOLA presents this month's climate keyword, adaptation. Climate adaptation means preparing our communities for stronger storms, hotter days, flooding, and rising water. That means planting trees, restoring wetlands, protecting homes, and helping families recover stronger after disasters. In New Orleans, resilience is part of who we are and how we survive. Learn more, stay informed, and take action with Climate Hope NOLA. Visit Team Hope NOLA on Instagram to learn more.
Hey, Delta Utilities natural gas customers. Your new and improved online customer service experience is here. Visit mydu.com to track your usage, choose convenient payment options, learn how to read your bill, and more. If you prefer to pay in person, our customer payment centers are open and ready to serve you. Delta Utilities at mydu.com. That's mydu.com. Improved customer service with you in mind.
WBOK is pleased to announce the reboot of Crosstown Conversations with host Gene Nathan. A heightened focus on cultural entertainment events and the creators who present them. The new time is now Saturday at noon. Tune into the stories of our exploding creative scene with Gene Nathan on Crosstown Conversations.
Good morning, Wake Up. The Good Morning Show. Good morning. On WBOK.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, New Orleans. Welcome back to the Good Morning Show. It's 8:55. We got just a few minutes before we make way for the front porch. So let's see if we can get everybody on. Good morning, Councilman Green. Eugene Green, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning, Will Sutton. Thanks for being up and for being on.
Yeah, right. What's on your mind, sir?
Well, to all of your listeners, I say good morning and thank you, WBOK, for what you continually do to help educate and to really serve our community in the way that you do. I wanted to just mention a couple of things. One, I appreciate those who were on the line, who were with you previously, who are addressing the issue of gun violence in our city. It's good to hear the numbers, and you can see the statistics. Everyone knows that the crime rate is down, the violent crime rate is down over the last few years, and this year we're trending in the right direction. But last night is a good example of the fact that we have much to do. In the 1200 block of Bartholomew Street, it looks like a family member shot another family member to death. Guns are so easy to access and so easy to use that they very honestly get used incorrectly in areas of domestic violence and just in terms of people making decisions that's how they're going to resolve issues using guns. So everything that we can do on a city level with the health department, with the other agencies such as Ubuntu Village and others is something that's really making a positive difference. And I just hope that people will resort less to the use of guns to resolve differences and to understand that they can be a tool that helps to protect, but also to damage. So thank you for having those guests on. And I thank them, if they're listening now, I thank them for the work that they do. It does make a difference in our city, as we saw with the statistics. Will, I also want to remind people that, as you said, there's Tropical Storm 1 in the Gulf area right now, and that even though it's calm today, people should be prepared, expecting the worst, hoping for the best. It just so happens that we have sandbag distributions taking place at many places throughout the city. In my district, it's at St. Raymond, St. Leo Church, and then also George Washington Carver High School. I know in New Orleans East, it's St. Maria Goretti in the Lower Ninth Ward. It's the Sanchez Center. I know that there's Morris FX Jeff School. So the bottom line is that check NOLA Ready, or make sure that you're on the list to get the update from NOLAready.com by texting NOLA Ready to 77295. It'll also advise you of where the locations are if you wish to come by and fill sandbags for extra protection. Those are the two things that I wanted to mention. I appreciate what you're doing.
All right. Lord's blessing, sir. Have a good day. Ryan, we got about 30 seconds. Let's thanks for your patience. You're on with Will Sutton. Ryan?
Absolutely. Yeah, I just wanted to say that it's not weak to strengthen your family and therefore everyone around you. So sometimes, we all didn't grow up in a perfect situation, and sometimes we need to learn different life skills in order to do that. Also, if you lock up all their mothers and fathers, if the system continues to do that without rehabilitating them and putting them back on the street, ready to work and strengthen their family, then we're not going to get a different outcome. It's going to continue to snowball like they've been doing for years. Anyway, do I got more seconds? I don't need it.
No. Okay, great. All right. Lord's blessings, sir. Good message. Appreciate your call. Have a fabulous day. All right, folks, that's going to do it for us here at the Good Morning Show. I am happy to be here on this Hump Day Wednesday, but I got to get out here and make room for the front porch. They're coming up next right after this. This is WBOK 1230 a.m., what New Orleans is talking about all day long.